Listen. I know it looks bad, but back when I made that video, Snuffy's backstory wasn't out yet, so I indeed spoke too soon. Anyways, quick intermission before this video starts. Only this amount of people that watch my videos are subscribed, so I'd appreciate it if you subscribe, considering each video takes 6 to 8 hours to edit, and I post each Monday, and I'm doing this whilst being in an exam period. Subscribing is free, and if you ever have a change of opinion on me, you can always unsubscribe. That's all. Thank you. Now, where do I even start? This backstory is so dark and complicated without context, so let's start from the beginning. BlueLock chapter 215. This chapter would start back up with the Ubers game, with us entering the head of the goalkeeper Gagamaru. The Ubers would be passing around as Bastard's defense would be in shambles and total and utter confusion as the ball would be passed to the king, Baro Shue. Baro would surprisingly pass as Gagamaru would think, how the hell did they get Baro to pass? The ball would go to Nico, and Nico would pass it right away to Sendo with a no-look 1-2. And then Gagamaru would realize, who the fuck even has the ball anymore? He wouldn't be able to see the ball as a rocket of a straw head to the top corner of the net would spawn out of thin air, as Gagamaru would be in shock. Then we'd enter back to Mark Snuffy's philosophy introduction, where Baro calling it a weak, irresolute philosophy. He'd say he didn't come there to play a weak-willed brand of football, as Snuffy would be strangely intrigued from this. Baro would be training as Snuffy would drop right by, complimenting Baro Shah. He'd say that from his data, Baro is the most suited to be a striker on the Ubers, and he'd tell Baro to please try his philosophy just once, even if he's faking it. Baro would say, bruh, and ask Snuffy if he seriously considers himself a master, as Snuffy would be awaiting Baro's answer. Very like Baro, he'd refuse, saying that to him, football isn't a job, but it's a way for him to become a king, and he's gonna conquer the world his way. So if Snuffy wants to utilize him, he'll have to adjust to Baro's philosophy. You shitty master. Snuffy would have a good laugh at this and call Baro an interesting guy, but you think of yourself as a genius, an elite who's better than everyone else, am I right? As Snuffy would steal the ball from Baro. Baro would be pissed at Snuffy, as he'd tell Baro that before being a footballer, he's just a person, saying that if Baro can't understand the difference, then he's nothing but an amateur, as Baro would tell him to shut up and rushing towards him. Snuffy would nutmeg Baro, continuing his speech, saying that in the end, he's been living his life belittling under that he deems untalented. He'd say furthermore, his talent is nothing but a gift handed down to him by his parents, and if he doesn't understand that he's no pro footballer. Baro would call that bullshit, saying that he can't be the world's best by simply thanking his parents, and if he does need to do so, then he'll become the world's best striker without thanking them, becoming the world's most ungrateful number 1 striker. Snuffy would tell Baro that he used to be just like him. There was a time when he would get by solely off talent. Alongside him was his best friend. They took advantage of wealth and luxuries that came along with being a superstar player, because they believed that they were going to be the kings of the football world. But they fucked up. They skipped trainings and their skills diminished, suffered injuries due to overwork, and lost their place in the starting 11 due to several scandals. He'd ended off by saying when a man falls, it only takes an instant, as Baro would say that Luce's backstory has nothing to do with him, as Snuffy would say this next part in a calm and cool voice. Finally, his spirit shattered, and Snuffy's best friend killed himself, as it looks like due to a drug overdose, as Baro would stare in shock. Snuffy would ask Baro if he'd still be able to love himself even if he's no longer viewed as a genius, as Baro couldn't answer. Before you're a footballer, you're a person, Snuffy would say, so regardless if he's talented or not, he should value his own life. So Baro Shue, let's work together, as Snuffy would ask Baro, are you interested in succeeding me as Uber's next king? Personally, I love this backstory. It was certainly dark, but it was oddly realistic. It comes back to how professional athletes receive hate due to poor performances, showing that being a professional athlete is not all light and glory. The reason why Snuffy's philosophy is that football is a job is because if you're a victim of a bad performance, it'll wreck and shatter your soul if it's your entire personality. That's why Snuffy sees football as nothing else than a job, and with that concludes the darkest backstory in all of BlueLock. Damn, this is my shortest video by far. I wish the chapter was longer so I could read a longer script. Yeah, Ronti right now I'm just improvising to make the video just a little bit long because I wanted to pass 5 minutes. Anyways, I'm working on a lot of stuff right now and I'm in an exam period, but I will keep on posting each Monday. Also, if anyone knows how to fix the end screen thing, I'd greatly appreciate if you tell me how, because for some reason, it's not allowing me to put an end screen at the end of my videos, so I'm just left with a blank end screen. That's about it for me. Bye.
Egoista. Isagiyoichi. Ora wa. Striker da.